Bridgerton gets Therapized. What do you do if you've been keeping secrets from someone you love and they have found out? How can you come back from something like that? Mended Light. So this is season 3 of Bridgerton. Colin Bridgerton, he's engaged to Penelope Featherington. Lots of love there, built on friendship, as a lot of great romances are over a long period of time. He has a sworn enemy, Lady Whistledown, the gossip columnist, who trashed his sister's reputation in her column. And he just wants, not literally, but figuratively, he wants Whistledown's head on a platter. All the while, he adores his fiancée, Penelope, and is willing to defend her at any cost. Penelope with her mother.
This is how I hear of my daughter's engagement. You hide out in your room all day.
Didn't tell me.
Let me read about it in Whistledown.
I did not much feel like announcing the happy news to you.
Happy? Is that what you think this is?
What else could it be? I am to be married.
Lord Dabbling, what a reasonable match.
Mom wanted somebody else.
Rich, to be sure, but with all his eccentricities, it was a secure match. And you've thrown that away to play out what? A fancy on the neighbour boy, who happens to be the most desired man of the season.
I do not think it's unreasonable.
So Mom doesn't think,
For me.
how could you possibly
Has he told you
snag?
that he loves you?
How could you possibly snag Colin Bridgerton? You. Has he told you that he loves you?
Not in those exact words.
Penelope. Do you not remember how the Bridgertons treated us like dogs when Marina's scheme was uncovered? And now you've been out till all hours of the night with no chaperone. And then you traipse in this morning with news of an engagement to the very same Bridgerton boy, using Lord knows what wiles to entrap him.
Excuse me.
Mr. Bridgerton is here.
Mr. Bridgerton, what an unexpected delight.
I will not be staying long. But since we are all speaking so freely...
That was not meant for your ears.
I am still speaking. Your daughter did not entrap me. I proposed to her out of love, nothing less. And were you not so narrowly concerned over your own standing, you might see that Penelope is the most eligible amongst you. In the future, I advise you not to sully our Bridgerton name by suggesting otherwise.
Ooh, because she's Bridgerton now. Let's go make out. Woo! And that is how it's done. So right now, things are really good between Colin and Penelope. He just really went to bat for her, stood up to her mother, and professed that he loves her. He's like, oh, in case there was any question, I do love her, and that's why I'm marrying her. Which is why it hits him so damn hard. When he finds out that the woman he loves is also his sworn enemy, who has tarnished his family's name in the Whistledown column, and who in the previous season, when the Queen thought that his sister Eloise was Lady Whistledown and was closing in on her, Penelope just did a hit piece on Eloise in her gossip column and just destroyed her reputation, but saved her from the legal ramifications of the Queen thinking she was Whistledown. Did it to save her. And Colin has just wanted Whistledown's head ever since, and now he's about to realize the woman I love and Whistledown are one and the same. Damn, son. He just found her at her publisher.
Colin.
You are Lady Whistledown.
Colin.
Do not try to deny it. I heard you with the printer. To think, I ran after you because I was worried about you, terrified that your carriage driver had abducted you to this part of town, when in truth, you knew exactly what you were doing because it was you who printed tonight.
It's not print tonight's edition.
Oh, but every other one. Is it not you who has been Lady Whistledown all along?
Oof. And the lies.
All of the lies you have told me, all of the things you have written about me and my family.
Colin, please.
I knew something was wrong. Stupidly, I blamed myself, as if I was undeserving of your love, but you are the one that is at fault. I will never forgive you.
Oh, man. So because he's a man of honor, he goes ahead and he marries her. He's like, we've already been intimate. We were intimate because I anticipated us getting married. I'm going to follow through, and I will be your husband. She's like, what type of marriage will that be? And he's like, let's just get through the wedding. And they do, and married life is awkward. He sleeps on the couch. They hardly talk. They don't touch. And he just has this deep sense of betrayal. But he has a conversation with Eloise, who was the offended person, who was the person who was hurt by the article. I'm actually going to show that clip in next week's video. We're going to talk about how awesome Eloise is, because Eloise has always been my favorite character. But he talks with Eloise and he gains some perspective. He gains some perspective of, okay, this was hurtful and the lies were hurtful, and I'm not condoning any of it, and trust still has to be rebuilt. But at the same time, Penelope felt invisible, unseen, unwanted, unworthy. And he had to admit, she's a phenomenal writer. And as a writer himself, he is jealous of her talents. And as Penelope starts to be accountable for her lies and deceptions, as she starts to step into, this is what I did, this is why I did it, and it was wrong, and here's what I'm going to do to make amends. And she starts to use her column as a force for good. And then she stands in front of the queen and all of the people and tells her story and apologizes for the harm that she's done. Colin finds himself deeply moved. The fact is, when we are honest and accountable and compassionate, things don't always go our way. Like, maybe if you lie and hide, you might get the outcome that you're hoping for, but at the cost of, you won't really be able to enjoy the outcome you were hoping for, because there's no peace, because it's all built on a lie. If things are to last, they have to last based on truth. And if they don't last, at least you can look yourself in the mirror and say, I don't have a hard time looking myself in the eye anymore for being deceptive. And a lot happens to get us here, but in the end, Colin truly sees her. He has compassion for who she is and why she did what she did. He doesn't condone some of the things that she did, but he's also willing to extend forgiveness.
Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you for your letter. I do not believe I've seen my mother so quickly shocked. And also, so quickly impressed.
She wrote an apology letter to...
I believe she's proud of you.
There is something I left out of that letter. But I would not object to an annulment if you requested one. I do not wish for any harm to come to you or your family as a result of today.
The Queen herself has accepted you.
For now. As must everyone else publicly, but Whistledown has upset many who will not soon forget. The future may not hold such happy days.
Pen, ever since I found out you are Whistledown, I have done everything I can to try to separate you from her. But the other day, I went back and read all of the letters you have sent me. Your letters have always been the ones I'm most eager to read, and I realized you are her. You have always had one voice. There is no separating you from Whistledown. And after seeing you speak today, well, I would not want to. Because forgive me, but that was bloody brilliant.
Watch my last video to see what she said and did.
I think in truth, I have been envious of you. Of your success. Of your bravery. And now I simply cannot believe that a woman with such bravery loves me. How lucky I am to stand by your side and soak up even a little bit of your light. If my only purpose in life is to love a woman as great as you, then I will be a very fulfilled man indeed.
I love you. You are a very good man, Mr. Bridgerton.
I love you. Now, will you please do me the honor of joining me on the dance floor, Mrs. Bridgerton?
Aw. So when he's giving his whole monologue speech here, and the music is swelling, and you could see the tears in her eyes, I feel to say what Rocket Raccoon said. about Captain America in Avengers Endgame when he's like, yeah, he's pretty good at that. And Ant-Man's like, I know, right?
He's pretty good at that, right?
To be loved, we have to be seen. To be seen, we have to be honest about who we are, what we want, what we've done, and stand with integrity and self-compassion. It's not always going to work in the sense that some people aren't ready to see you and love you for who you are. But that's a them thing. That's about where they are in their journey and what they're able to do right now. It's not about you. It's not about your worth. So my question for you is, what does telling the truth about yourself do for you? To me, it helps me to separate, using a biblical phrase, the wheat from the tares, right? To separate who are my people and who are not my people. Because when I am authentically myself and people don't like that, if being authentically myself means I'm a blowhard and I'm a jerk, well, then I do have to work on myself. I'm not saying not to. I'm not saying just be yourself, because if who you are is rude and condescending and selfish, then yeah, work on that. But I'm just mean, this is what I like. This is what I'm passionate about. This is who I am. This is my personality. The people who don't want that, it's okay to be rejected by them. They're doing you a favor. They're separating themselves out and identifying themselves as not your people. When you show the world who you are, the people who are drawn to that light, those are your people. What do you think of Penelope and Colin, their journey in season 3? What stones did I not overturn that you'd like me to talk about when it comes to them? And do you agree with the points that I've made here? Let me know in the comments below. I've got an entire Bridgerton playlist for you just to sop up. That's going to show up here on screen somewhere for you to click on. So I hope that you enjoy that. Until next time, folks, keep shining, because we need your light.